because I almost had live chat off. It was displaying funny in the window that you click to go live. Anyway, okay, our dog's. Oh no, he's right here, and he wants to make noise, as I sometimes speak about. He's already been upstairs for a while. I can't find the rawhide I gave him. Maybe I'll try and find it while I'm talking here. So I do apologize that I'm going to move a little bit. I gave it to him again. I do know that. Again, it feels a bit redundant for those who have never been to the channel, who come in and wonder, why am I starting it this way? It's because our dog is standing looking at us, cute and lovely as he is, and he likes to vocalize, and he's very vocal in the podcast, just like me. As far as chatting, that's a little bit, sometimes yes, sometimes no, as far as other people. But maybe I'll just go upstairs with this because I don't really want to put him back upstairs. And I don't think this will be a super long one. I've actually done a video earlier today already, fairly long. It was a bit quiet, as far as reception, but I know relatable, and that, and he doesn't seem to be as hyper when I'm walking, but around. But actually, this one's perfect. I'll just do this for now. But I just wanted to talk about something that happened. Sorry, I'll stop moving in just a moment. I'm just going to go upstairs and do this one upstairs. And I want to talk about something that happened that is worth celebrating. I appreciate your patience. I'm almost there. I can trip over the stuff I have in the doorway there. Okay. Maybe unintentionally, maybe intentionally, no. I'm also going to do one other thing since the viewer left and nobody else is here yet. So I must say, though, although the area and I don't know, I felt mixed about where I was the other day. The staff that I the staff that I communicated with was good. Sorry. So, and one more thing, I'm going to get up and just put this fan on because I actually might be back in here in a little bit. So, handy dandy. I don't know. I just thought it might be a good, worthwhile idea for a video. That fan is a little bit noisy. And I didn't realize that because I don't use this one very often. I'm not sure if it's eventually going to stop. Seems to be better. That's annoying. Oh, really calm, isn't it? You know what? I'm just going to have to tough it out. Either that or go in the other room and put the AC on, which I meant to take out of the window on the weekend, but haven't yet. I think I'm going to do that because it gets stuffy pretty quick. Just kind of having to relocate to do this one. And I think you'll be able to hear me over top of the AC. It's still getting quite warm out. And whatever. So, so, um, in the previous video, I was talking about a group that I wasn't really a group, actually. It was more of a study session. You say the person asked us some questions, asked everybody who wanted to contribute some questions, and then noted the answers and was going to give it back to uh, the city and government officials, basically, interestingly. So, um, basically, I'm going to turn that down one. I don't think it needs to be on quite as high as it is. It might be a little quieter. So, and in the video I mentioned earlier, I mentioned how if I had if I'd been in a bit of a fancier style, look wise, I don't think I would have fit in as well. I would have. In some ways, it would have made maybe more sense than how I did appear because it was mostly women. One of them may have been non-binary. I'm not sure, but it was mostly women in the group. There was about 6 or 7 people, I think, plus myself. But it was a community event. It was for a particular community. So, and I really should have. I really should have. I just the odd one out, I guess. And it was slightly surprising that it that I would have been, if, yeah. But no, I mean, you know, nobody seemed to feel too awkward about me being there, so that was good. Um, and I called the other day because I didn't see the poster that I had initially seen, and I didn't know if that had meant canceled or what it had meant. Sure, I hadn't gotten a call otherwise, and I called and I said that this was Monday. I called and I said that it was for an event that was coming up that day. Well, first of all, I called. I got the front desk person. She didn't know what I was referring to, although when I got there in person, the front desk person did. And if the person I spoke to was around other people, was around when other people had been talking about this, they should have been paying more attention and knowing a bit more about what's going on at their office, to be honest. Even if it was just it wasn't a consistent thing that was being put on. So anyway, basically, so I got transferred to somebody's voicemail. And also that person at the front desk, again, good in person, didn't seem to realize that this person wasn't in that day. I mean, it was early. It was early in the day because I wanted to just confirm, that day. And that, 1 minute. That was my time. So, um, anyway, so it's transferred me to this person's voicemail. And although it was 11 o'clock and they opened at 9:30, the lady called. It was an unknown private number, and I wasn't sure at first. Wasn't expecting any call, but I answered it. Just was like, given. I said, hi, or something like that. And she said, I just wanted to follow up about a message that you left me yesterday. Um, and she said where she was calling from, and I says, oh yes, I made it to the meeting. No problem. And she says, "Oh, good, good." She's like, "Yeah, I wasn't in the office yesterday, and I just wanted to make sure," or something like that. Part of me could think certainly, well, kind of stupid. I said I was calling about that day. That day has passed. But at the same time, maybe she thought if I hadn't made it because I didn't go in because I wasn't sure, maybe she wanted to apologize that I would have missed it, and that nobody got back to me in time and all that. So that is appreciated. That is appreciated. Doing little things like that. And then in this example, I since I did make it to the thing, whether it was worth it or not, I mean, I got free sandwiches. The people were decent to be around. I mean, I don't really feel like we really got to, connect very strongly with each other. A little bit, but it was kind of formatted. I don't know. I just it's hard to explain unless you've been to something like this, and it's hard to connect just once. I do feel like if I had kind of um, if it had been a bit more like I thought it would have been, and maybe if some people had said things that they didn't say, um, that may have. But I also left before it finished. The lady said, the one lady who kind of introduced herself at the beginning, but said she was, not the one going to be facilitating it. She, uh, she's the one I think I spoke to on the phone initially, not the one that called today though. She came to the room and said, "You guys have to wrap up. It's almost that time." I mean, they got a bit of a late start because she waited for two people who just they should have said they should, we started, I mean, we did start, like, it started about 10 after the time, I think, so not much, but two people right as we were starting, not looking at the time or not being considerate, went out for a smoke. I understand, though, I suppose, when something like that is calling at you, it's sometimes hard to ignore it. Maybe she did too. She didn't give the vibe as being a smoker, but some people would say, what vibe is that? And I don't know how to explain it at that point in time. But anyway, the point of the matter is that yeah, I mean, but it was something to, like you said, the people were nice enough to be around, um, even for just the hour, because yeah, I guess it was only an hour. That's the other thing. Um, but it was just so nice that that lady was that thoughtful. It's not that people aren't, but I think a lot of people aren't, and it was such a small thing, but and then coming to YouTube to talk about it, maybe it'll inspire others to do more of these small things and have a bit of a ripple effect, right? Um, and yeah, it was, she didn't really ask much about it. Um, and I did thank her for calling, but yeah, she seemed very happy that I I'd I'd made it to the meeting, and it reminded me, not that I mean it's recent, and so it's still kind of sort of floating around in my head. It reminded me that I appreciated going there too, to be honest, for the most part. So it was nice to be reminded of that, But sorry, I have my leg on the camera there. But yeah, so I'm a little bit tired from this morning's podcast. I just ate. I kind of have some other things I want to do. I discovered somebody on here that I'm not too sure what I think of his content, but I do have some people that I already follow that are pretty consistent about when they post. So I might be doing that soon. But there might be a part two to this if I think of any other ideas about it, or if you suggest any, or we're just talking in the chat, in the comments. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't really know if there's much else to say about it though at the moment, other than think of ways in which you can do something similar for somebody. It not only that, but it also showed that she cared. It showed that she cared that about my call, my message. I mean, some people could say, well, part of her job is to return the calls that she gets. But again, she could have easily said, okay, well, that was yesterday, so that's done. Today's today, and you know, and I feel like it's worthwhile making this post about this because although lots of other people would do similar things and are similar ways, maybe I just don't get out and connect enough sometimes these days. I kind of feel like it was kind of something I hadn't experienced in a while. Let's just say that. I wish I could think of other examples from my life because I'm sure there are some where somebody, but I just keep, the only one that's really there is that the one I just shared. Um, and sometimes it is when it's people in a profession, but then even then, sometimes it's not. So I don't know. Again, I kind of wish I was rolling longer, giving the opportunity for people to tune in and chat. Hopefully, it happens afterwards. But I think that's my energy level anyway. So thanks for listening. It's okay to have short ones too, right?